Hello and welcome to day 21 of my 21-day water fast. Well, I was aiming for 40 days, but a few things have come up. As I've mentioned in prior posts, going back to Canada. My mother has breast cancer and will be having chemotherapy shortly. So I want to get there a little early, be with her before, and be supportive and with her during the chemotherapy. So one of the factors. The other factor is I've actually been hungry for 4 days, and I kept saying during the fast that if ever I was hungry, I'd listen to my body and stop the fast. Didn't really listen because I didn't really know what was going on the first time I've had a water fast, so I kept on going. So I'm leaving Thailand in 10 days, going to stop the water fast today, day 21, to give my body time to gather energies. And it's surprising. I did a lot of research on Curazone and other websites, or a lot of Google, because I couldn't even find really good websites on ending the fast. And it's really surprising the lack of information that I was able to find concerning ending a fast. Curazone is full of people talking about ending it with this or that, eggs, rice, second day. Some people juice fast for the same amount of time as you water fasted. So it's quite difficult to get a good idea of what's going on. Today, I will break my fast with orange juice watered down with water. I actually brought all of my kit to do that, and I'm not going to quite do it now. I'll do it a little bit later, although it is very tempting. I squeezed the orange juice myself, and it was very, very hard not to wet my lips with it, because it is extremely fresh. So a few things I'd like to talk about is when I began the fast, I mentioned the reasons why I want to do a 40-day fast. Well, what has become of those reasons, or how have my reasons evolved? One of the reasons was soreness in my joints, sort of a swelling when I get up in the morning. It seems to be better now. I tend to feel that there's less swelling in my fingers, but it's still there. And interestingly enough, I was doing saltwater flushes a little bit. And then, if you remember, about 10 days ago, I started really questioning whether or not I should do saltwater flushes. And one of the answers mentioned that if you do saltwater flushes, you're adding salt to your body, even if it's not that much, because it tends to go right through. But there is a certain amount that stays. I know this because sometimes you have a bowel movement the next day, and it's because of the saltwater flush. You get a feel for that. The gentleman who sent the comment essentially mentioned that the process of eliminating accumulated materials in the joints is basically breaking down salts. So if you give body salts, then it's not going to be drawing salts from different parts of the body. So after the saltwater flush stopped, or after I stopped doing them and uniquely did normal enemas, I did feel a slight sort of healing. Now, I'm going to stop the fast, but what I did find out about stopping is that I will continue cleansing, and as I slowly take in initially liquids and then some soft fruits, I will basically flush out even more toxins, and I will need to rest. So I'll probably be vlogging, maybe not every day, but sporadically, just to talk about the process. So maybe, in 2 days and then 4, and then to keep on going. Another reason for embarking on the fast was sadness. Now I do have bouts of sadness, borderline depression, over the borderline depression. So it varies, and I tend to now understand that this is related to the food I eat. You eat junk food, it's because you feel a certain way. That reinforces negative feelings. You eat more junk food, maybe consume alcohol. It is a whole complicated circle of things that feed each other, no pun intended, that help or keep the depression at bay, or the sadness. Now, there's a balance that has come over me in the last 21 days, brought about by the fasting, a centering feeling more as well. It's almost as if a calm pervades you. Now, will I be able to keep that? I will try to eat as well as possible to see if perhaps it is the foods that help me do that. So, traditionally in the last 4 or 5 years of fasting, I found that my mental health is better when I'm done, so I do anticipate that as well. Now my weight, I did want to fast because of my weight. I've lost probably around 25 pounds, couldn't weigh myself today because the digital scale at the 7-Eleven was broken. and in this town it seemed to be the only digital scale. So I last weighed myself at 77 kilograms, which is quite a weight loss, and in fact I find my cheeks have, sunken quite a bit. So I'm happy with the weight loss, and in fact I feel skinny, which is kind of weird, so I am. And talking about the end of the fast as well, I need to be careful about what I eat, because the dangerous part is eating things that are fatty and oily immediately and gaining back the weight rapidly. So it's very important that I'm careful with what I'm going to eat. The sleepless nights, this is, I guess, turning into the negative aspects of the fast and no longer talking about why I wanted to fast, but one side effect that was the most overpowering for me was the sleepless nights. Complete throwing off of my sleep patterns. Going to bed, not going to bed at night, sleeping during the day, getting up at crazy hours, and then eventually turned into naps that lasted 15 hours. So get ready for that. And I've read actually that some people find it lonely, the fasting experience, especially if they're up at night and they're not used to it. I'm a night owl myself usually, and I do like the quiet that the night brings. There's no vehicles going by, there's less roosters crowing. Well, that's crows, but there's less noise, so I tend to not feel lonely because I'm up at night. But if you are someone that always goes to bed at 10 o'clock and you find yourself up at 3, I can see how it could be difficult. So note that as a side effect that you might encounter. I'd like to thank many people. A lot of people have sent in emails. A lot of people have been wishing my mother safe healing and good health. Thank you very much for that, and thank you on behalf of my mother as well. I'd like to thank Jen, who is actually helping me here today as well, my partner in Yogayak, for supporting me and just really being there when I was tired and cranky, and you need support, I think, and if you don't, then at least look towards the web or some kind of support forum to which you can vent your fears or your worries and your happiness. It's a wonderful thing. It's certainly not about always being weak and all these things. There's an amazing amount of joy and energy that can come out of fasting. My mother and my father as well, I'd like to thank. And a lot of people on Facebook, friends that I hadn't spoken to in years, came out thanking me and encouraging me. Thank you very much for your encouragement. Nathan as well, my friend who I've connected with because of lucid dreaming. It seems that he had done fasting before and he was a big help. Leon as well in Vancouver, who's been an amazing help. And I stayed chipper during the whole thing, Leon, by the way. Leon worried me in the beginning because he saw my first post and he says, yeah, I'd like to see you smile like that after 15 days, or was it 12? And I've mostly kept it up, and it's not really a facade, it's truly how I feel. And lastly, perhaps for the thanking, I'd like to thank Vlad, who sent me an email when I was trying to decide whether or not I should end the fast to travel. And it was a very lucid email about be extremely careful of how you come out of the fast. For the next 10 days, I'll need to rest. At least the 2-3 days that are coming, I'll need to rest. And I got the impression that once I drank a little bit of this orange juice, which I'm going to do in 15 seconds, then I would need to chains to hold me down and bounce around. I'm sure I'll get that energy, but since Vlad mentioned that I will continue detoxing and I'll need rest, I'm really trying to, oh my god, it smells good. I'm really trying to integrate that lesson of resting. So here we go, first meal in 21 days. I'm going to water it down quite a lot. And so the vlog will continue. If people have questions or comments, the email is michel@yogayak.com, and I'll continue to answer questions and occasionally vlog. And I've also had suggestions that I continue vlogging, perhaps about other subjects. So I think in the near future I will be vlogging about dreams and lucid dreaming, which is one of my passions in life. So here goes. Thank you very much for everyone for watching. And if you are fasting, have been fasting, or embarking on fasting, I wish you luck or congratulations. And if you have any questions, please feel free to Just a minute. It's diluted, so I don't have to drink it that slow, do I? Oh. Oh. I f*** a thermometer filling up with that red stuff with the heat coming up. So that's basically it. I wanted to thank everybody, and I guess I will be coming back in the next few days as well, but it feels like a milestone or an end of a small voyage. So thank you everyone from all different websites where I've posted, and I think I'm done saying thank you for quite this second. So I wish you all a wonderful evening, night, morning, afternoon, tea time, breakfast. Oh, it's turned into food times now. Or another glass of water. See you soon. Love and light.